right, man. Let's talk about it's either still got to be Jalen Duren or James Wiseman. They got a decision to make, and obviously, necessarily that decision doesn't have to be made maybe till after training camp or the first half of the season. James Wiseman, I think, is on the book this year for $12 million. Why the Warriors kind of wanted to move on with the new salary, luxury tax rules, or whatever like that, and the reason why. You got to make space for one of them unless you can play them together, which I don't think you can, really play them together, honestly, is because somebody got to grow. And one of the problems with Troy Weaver, the thing that Troy Weaver's doing, or whatever you want to call it, his system, is that he's oversaturating the talent with young talent. Now, the Pistons used to, make rookies earn they playing time, and that hurt them too, where guys like Chris Middleton, Tayshaun Prince, Darko Milicic would get buried on the bench, and they would lose their confidence. Something that happened to Wiseman in Golden State, and they would lose their confidence. And he doing it with Killian on top of Ivy, on top of Cade, on top of R.J. Hampton, Bagley on top of Duren, on top of Wiseman, on top of Isaiah Stewart. At some point, when you're doing it with young players on top of young players, you'll think, well, it should increase the competition. But what happens is, what happened if, Bagley have a good night, you ride the high hand with Bagley, and then you can't get, let's just use, you can't get Duren and Wiseman on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And then, a few days later, Wiseman get hot, then you can't get Duren on the floor. How do you build confidence that way? How do you build consistency that way? How do you build a learning curve that way? You can't. And this is why you have to have a healthy mix of young players and veterans. That's why you got to have a healthy mix of young players and veterans. What everything is spaced out the right way. There's room for growth. It's room for development. Cause what can a young player give to another young player? Really nothing. We in competition. I'm trying to beat you out for a starting spot. A veteran kind of know his role, kind of, secure on who he is, or, secure on his role, in the franchise. He know what he brought in to do. He been around the block at this point. He is what he is. He know he's not going to be a superstar, or he know he's not going to go back to being a role player, or he knows his role. These young guys are competing and jockeying for a position and jockeying for livelihood, and they don't really know. They careers are still developing. I mean, then again, one wrong turn, you can find yourself back to the G League or overseas in Greece or in Australia or some shit like that. So that's why I got to be one or the other. And really, that's why I said it's important. Subtractions is going to be gains. You got to get rid of low sodium beef stew. You got to get rid of Hayes. You got to get rid of Bagley, or push them to the end of the bench or to a developmental role in the G League or something. You got to push those guys to the side. Therefore, they give you more room for Duren and Wiseman to be able to battle it out. And even if they do battle it out, and I don't know, whoever wins, that don't mean that if whoever go on and leave and you pick, that don't mean you're going to have a Yusuf Nurkic in a Jokic situation where, okay, we going to keep Jokic and ship Nurkic out and get what we can get for him, and Jokic be the better person. Well, it might turn out that you ship Duren away and Duren end up being the better player. But also the thing to weigh in too is, guess what? Wiseman don't have no value on the trade market. So if you looking to acquire a Jalen Brown, or you looking to acquire, I don't know, I'm just throwing names like Kyrie, Damian Lillard, or somebody via trade that really can help you. And, I don't know who it can be. If you looking to acquire somebody that really can help you in that way, shape, form, and fashion, guess what? It's almost certainly that Duren, if you want to keep Cade and Jaden Ivey, Duren is in the 5th pick, and probably Bojanovic is going to have to be part of the trade. Wiseman don't hold no weight. But then again, people say, well, Wiseman is still, people say, well, Wiseman is, we don't really know what we got in Wiseman. Was that little snap piece of what you got of Wiseman last year, is that enough to believe he can come in, stay healthy, and ball out? That'll be the risk that you take. Because then if you gamble on Wiseman and he fall off and you keep Bagley, then you count on Bagley to step in and play that role. But Like I said before, I'm a roll with Jalen Duren. I don't give a hell what Wiseman can do shooting wise and all. Dude, Jalen Duren is an elite athlete, 7'5" wingspan. He a little bit shorter than Wiseman, but I ain't really concerned about that. They got Draymond Green playing center, so I don't. If it's up to me, dude, I would get rid of Wiseman and keep Duren. But then again, Wiseman got so much upside. But then again, Kenny stayed healthy. You know, so just because they battle today and let's say Wiseman win, don't mean that Duren won't end up being the better player. And like I said, they wouldn't even be in this fucking predicament if Troy Weaver would just stick to his guns when he draft. He'd be good. Think about it. If they totally believe how they took Hellberg, do you think they would have drafted Jaden Ivey? Hell no. They probably would have took Jalen Duren, number 5 overall. Jalen Duren, number 5 overall. Just being real with you. It's like he did what he did to Sadiq Bey. You get rid of Jeremy Grant, you say, okay, we're gonna give you the keys to the kingdom. Guess what? Then you say, well, I'm panicking. I'm gonna go get Bojanovic and railroad Sadiq Bey. Come on. If you don't feel like somebody is capable of getting a job done, just say, guess what? Sadiq Bey had more value before the season began than he had in the middle of the season when you traded him. Guess what? If you exercise his 5th-year option and you trade him at the trade deadline last year, or you trade him this year, or you trade him, before the season started, you would have got more than what you got for him. You probably could have squeezed the Warriors for Wiseman and a Kuminga or Moses Moody. Like I said before, he keep oversaturating the talent, and the talent is not going to grow. Now, it's one thing to oversaturate the talent with veterans, because at some point the it's going to have to turn into the young guys' opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So the young guy's going to have to just take over at some point. The veteran going to have to hand the keys over. He's going to have to earn it, but he's going to have to hand the keys over to him. But at some point, you gotta stop kind of picking the same guys over the same guys over the same guys over the same guys over the same guys. Keep overdrafting the position, and the biggest addition that they could make this year, other than landing a Jalen Brown or something like that, or landing a big name player. Like Jalen Brown. Like Jason Tatum. Like Joel Embiid. I know some of these dudes ain't available or won't be available. You know what I'm saying? Like a LaMelo Ball or somebody of substance of that name, is to subtract some of the additional fat that's on the team. Some of these dudes simply got to move out the way so some of these other guys can grow. You don't plant plants to grow close together, because then they won't stay alive and they won't grow. And that's what he's doing. He got too many plants planted in the same area. And now they can't root out and they can't space out and grow. So now they dying. So what you got to understand is, at some point you got to have separation for the benefit of these young guys. And at some point, and that's where the 5th pick come in. Okay, you draft the 5th pick. They got a lot of young players. Yeah, they do, but a lot of these young players they shouldn't even be on the fucking roster. Hayes should be back in the third world NBA league. Isaiah Stewart, we've seen enough of. No matter how much you like his mentality, how strong he is, he's not good enough. Marvin Bagley, he can't stay healthy, can't defend nothing. And your reality right now is the 5th pick is Wiseman, is Duren, is Cade, is Ivy, is Bojanovic, is Burks. That's it, and a gang of money. And after you get that 5th pick, guess what I'm filling the roster out with is veterans that know their role. If it's Larry Shamet, if it's Seth Curry, if it's Karis LeVert, if it's Kristaps Porzingis, if it's Torrey Craig, guys like that, I'm filling them out with guys that know their role and know how to play it to the T. Not guys that's gonna be here compete, who still trying to find their way. Guys who know what they are in the NBA, they know their limitations, they know what they good at. Those are the guys that you need to fill the role. Because guess what? Guys that know their role, they're going to help guys like Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Wiseman, Bojanovic, Burks, and those guys, those veteran guys you bring in, they're going to help the 5th pick. They're going to help the other young guys find their role and find their way in the National Basketball Association on the Detroit Pistons. So it's hard to find your way when you competing with other guys at your position and y'all the same age. Ain't no growth there. And that's why Denver had to move Nurkic and they chose to keep Jokic, which was obviously the right move. That's why you can't keep drafting the same position. Same thing in Orlando. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz. You got all these young guys. You don't know who gonna have a high hand, so you riding with the high hand, but you not being able to develop because they on the bench in the deep freezer and they don't know. Some nights they can play 32 minutes, other nights they playing 15 to 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's like training a puppy. The one thing about training a puppy, some people think, well, the potty training is hard. That's the easy part. Because it's as simple as you get a fixed schedule for them to eat. When they wake up, you take them to go out to use the bathroom to the spot you want them to use the bathroom at. They don't use the bathroom, you go in, you feed them. Right after you feed them, you take them back to that same spot. If they use the bathroom in that same spot, guess what you do? You give them a treat. Yeah, good job. You bring them in the house. When they come in the house, they play. You take them back to the spot. If they don't use it, they use it. You give them a treat. They take a nap. And you do the, you get them into a rhythm in the schedule. But if their schedule all eradicated and all over the place, it's gonna be hard to train them. But once you train them, you can feed them whenever time you want. They're gonna scratch at the door, go to the door, and they gotta use it. But when I don't have a consistent schedule, just like with a child, if they don't have a consistent schedule when they come home to take your uniform off from school, get a snack, do your homework, then go out and play, earn TV time. Okay, dinner, a little bit more TV, or you read a book. Then it's bedtime at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Okay, you getting up at 6 o'clock, get ready for school, eat breakfast, go to school, woo, and repeat. If you don't put them in a schedule and they do what the hell they want to do, you're gonna have a child that struggles with discipline. So how can I really, expand my horizons as a child or as a growing, developing prospect when I don't have any consistency in schedule? So just to break it down a little bit, but hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We got live drop video. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.